So I fancy myself a writer, not a video maker. So I don't know why exactly I'm compelled to use this medium, except for the fact that I'm monetized, so whatever. It's definitely because of a belief that I have yet to deconstruct, because I know I'm we all think that we think all these good things about ourselves, when the truth is that, we don't even know what our subconscious thinks about us, and it's probably, whatever it is, it's probably not what we think it is. and the subconscious language is not, it's a whole different language, and I heard this at least 20 years ago, that the subconscious doesn't understand words that are in a negative form, like can't, not, all that crap. And I'm telling you, 20 years ago I learned this, and over the years I've talked myself out of it, and I've talked myself back into it, and I've talked myself out of it, and then it came knocking on my door again, actually like a few hours ago. So anyway, I'm just going to read what I wrote 12 hours ago. Alright, and it goes like this. I was thinking about the last approximately 3 weeks, and how it was occurring even to me that I'm definitely spiraling downward, and it was seeming to get faster and faster until I was getting pretty anxious about where I was headed myself. I've been completely in what can only be described as a psychotic break for definitely the last 2 weeks, but the week before that I was headed there. And I've set up parameters, like literally in my own belief systems, concerning things that I will not do anymore while in the midst of a downward spiral. And after this time of having not used that way of thinking, or at least trying really hard not to, and then acknowledging the thoughts that do slip by the guards at the frontal lobe, I now know that those thoughts of ending myself were always very comforting, I guess, to me. I guess, if I'm thinking of hatching plans and thinking about stuff like that, I'm not, it's a way of, what's the word? Derealization, depersonalization, There is a very fine line between mental illness and ego dissolution. I would say that the two probably are meant to go together. You don't get to dissolve your ego and still seem normal to everybody. And if you believe that that's possible, then I'm not gonna knock what you believe, but it's wrong. But now I know that those thoughts of ending myself were comforting me. So, am I supposed to think about while I'm nosediving into hardcore anxiety and depression? No, I no longer let myself consciously and deliberately think thoughts of anything negative, and sometimes I think that ends up making me crazier. It's like I'm suicidal, but I'm really not, because I'm actually happy, and it doesn't matter anyway, because none of this is real, because I know everyone is my reflection. Those are all the ideas that I've been in free fall with. And in the beginning, I guess they would stop the gut-wrenching anxiety, but it kind of stopped working. And like I said, I'm not allowed to be thinking about unaliving, or that I hate my life at all, or that things are bad at all. These are things I refuse to think, and it's automatic for me now to not think them. So it's a really weird place to be. And I don't think it's even possible, and I also do not believe anyone who's had a messed up childhood even exists or has existed who is able to avert a free fall nosedive to suicide land if met with the right situation. I don't care how goo your roo is. It's crap. And furthermore, history shows us that people don't achieve an adept level of awareness much less a teacher or master's level of awareness, without having a messed up childhood followed by more effery until the effery either sends them to their graves, jail, Tibet, or all three, and then a few more. How do people think spiritual teachers get that straight from God wisdom? There is not now, nor has there ever lived a master who had a completely sane mind, nor a good life. Whatever. I believe that one version of the ultimate truth is that the idea of God and perfection is absurd. The idea/construct of perfection is about as real as the idea/concept of time. Neither of the two exist. And it's ironic that people order their entire lives and the lives of others in the belief of both of these fictions. I know it's very hard for a person to cognate the idea that time is man-made and does not exist. And it's funny how much harder it is for that person to understand that God cannot be perfect, because perfect ain't real. Any God that's worth its salt would agree that perfection is antithetical to God itself. God is not static. There is no inclination towards stagnation in God. To say that there is would be to say that God could stink and grow deadly bacteria. Nature is proof of my claim, and say what you want. Perfection reached is rest. How could it not be? So much like the way I refuse thoughts which are negative and counterproductive, I will no longer feel guilt and that wretched ass shame, which is debilitating and poisonous because I said too much or I said not enough. I refuse to keep on kicking my own ass for a post I made or a name I called. If I call anyone a name, it's because they're exemplifying traits of whatever I called them, and I should have stopped before I got to that, but even Jesus had trouble keeping his mouth shut sometimes. Additionally, I don't care at all if the same people I honestly believe do not exist anywhere except in my own mind are upset with me or embarrassed by me simply because it would be irrational ASF to care if I truly believe they do not exist. It doesn't work. It don't jive. And that's not my psychopathy or mouth or psychopathic thought saying that crazy shit, but peer-reviewed science saying that crazy shit. I believe for psychopathy to exist in me personally, I think my hallucinations would have to appear both outside of me, yet coming into me, yet still separate to me, if we judge by the standard definition. People love to give me their non-existent shit about that one while diagnosing me with their non-existent medical degrees. The comment sections of social media, more than anything, have made me appreciate the knowledge found in self-reflecting upon all of my reflections and the avatars they assume. Make no mistake, this is a simulation. And I think where everybody messes up is when they think only some people are the NPCs, when it's all of the people are the NPCs. This game is a one-player only game. That's the only idea to me that makes everything make sense. And especially concerning my favorite movie ever, Donnie Darko. Because Donnie was right, we do all die alone, and we all die alone because we are all alone. All one. I think that's by accident. I love that word. That's why I don't really plan my life or watch videos with people who say they talk to this one and that one and this alien and that alien. That's never ever been my experience, and I spend I always have spent most of my time in other states of consciousness, you know, and I have a lot more to say about that, but not today. In closing, I'm going to say it again, but more for me than for you, but I refuse to wear a shame blanket anymore for the things that I do or say ultimately, because whatever it is I do, my intent is never to harm, and it never comes from a place of malice in me, because I don't have that place in me. Most of the things I feel shame for are things which were born straight from my pride pit, ego, and the thing I'm guilty of most probably is being too truthful evaluating. And, you know, I should have kept that to myself, because I honestly believe it was, oh, it's all, but I'm only evaluating me. I know this when I'm doing it. So does everybody else. So if they say they don't, they've merged with, it's bonkers, it's trash. But hey, if nothing is real, then I had no free will to begin with, and whoever I appear is merely an avatar of the one playing the game. And I know it don't look like it even to me, but I'm pretty sure I won. I won.